Alright, so I made it to Lake Helen in Lassen, and it took me about 5 minutes to figure out that I wasn't going to make it to Bumpus Hill. It's basically the trail is in the snow on the side of a cliff to go down to the hot springs at Bumpus Hill. And within the first 5 minutes, my track line was so off trail. I literally couldn't figure out how to walk in the same direction as the trail. And like that realization took place within like the first couple steps in the snow. So yeah, anyway, I'm up here. I didn't make it to Bumpus Hill, but it's pretty fun. This is a full suspension DCF Mandala Daybloom 46-liter LiteAF Curve ultra lightweight backpack. It's got the 2 aluminum stays in here. It's framed out. It's got the middle weight poly mesh front pocket. It's got the ultra lightweight shoulder strap, water bottle pockets. It's got black Robic on the shoulder straps and on the hip belt. It's got the load lifters, side compression, bottom pocket, axe loop, bottom Y strap, top Y strap. All right. All right, so obviously this is like one of the best backpacks in the world. It's for sure the best backpack I've ever seen, ever owned. The DCF on this pack is like the best DCF I've ever seen in my whole life. The best DCF that I ever saw in my life was the green OD DCF that I got from LiteAF the first time I got one of their packs, and the second time I saw like the best DCF I'd ever seen in my life was when I got this pack in the mail. You know, taking this pack out of the box, the design, the Mandala Daybloom design that's on here, it looked like a painting in a museum, you know, when I first got it. So let's just go over the basics here. Do I know LiteAF? No, I don't know LiteAF. I live in NorCal, which is like 2,000 or 3,000 miles away from New England. I don't know LiteAF. If you're wondering if the Grateful Dead live in this neighborhood, yeah, they do. Bob Weir, who sings Truckin', lives in this neighborhood. But I don't know the Grateful Dead, and I also don't know LiteAF. Let's dive straight into it. I'm going to show you what I put into this pack because that's a system that I've been putting together for a long time, so I'll just show you what I put in here. All right, so I would love to put a 1.5 pound Enlightened Equipment 10-degree quilt into my pack, but unfortunately I do not own one. I actually own a 1.5 pound Western Mountaineering summer bag, but I don't usually carry that. I usually carry a 2 pound sleeping bag. This Ghost Whisperer Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag right here is 7 feet long. This is what I put into the pack first all the time. Put it into the bottom of the pack. All right, so I got the sleeping bag into the bottom of the pack, and I'm going to show you the ditties and the clothes that I put. All right, so what we got here is we've got the LiteAF food bag kind of hiding underneath there with the ditty bag, the air pad, got the short 7-inch bot with the neoprene cozy, got the Z-Pax down sock, Z-Pax wool sock, got the neoprene sock, got the Z-Pax beanie, the wool beanie, got the buff, got the frog tugs there, and got the cozy. All right, so my ditties are pretty simple here. I got the squirrels nut butter there, some toilet paper, the Be Free, got an iPhone cover there, got the power bank here, Easton Steaks, got the LiteAF wallet, and the Gossamer Gear ditty bag stove. All right, that's basically what's in my ditties right there. All right, and here it is packed up into the LiteAF food bag. I would love some more of these food bags. This is the half bag. The full-size food bag is twice as tall as this. All right, so here's my shelter. This is the 1 pound Sierra Designs High Route 2 tarp. This is the Bear Boxer 1.5 pound bear canister for food. There's a lot of rangers who won't let you go out on your hike. They won't give you a permit if you have a bear canister this small. Eventually, I'm gonna need to replace it with something bigger, but for now, this is what I've got. So what's awesome about this Y-strap on top is that it compresses your bear canister down into your insulation pretty good. And it's also not connected to your shoulder straps. So your shoulder straps remain free. It's got the side compression, right? Yank on that. All right. All right. All right, so I actually purchased this Curve 46 to replace the Curve 35 that I already had. The reason for that was that I eventually just accumulated more gear, like a bear canister and a shelter, and my gear started to be heavy enough that I felt like I needed a hip belt to go with the pack. Also, I started to accumulate enough gear that the bear canister started to fit into the top of the pack, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, and I wanted to give myself a little bit more space just to fit clothing and whatnot into the pack as well. The other issue was that I bought this Curve 35 in a size large, so it comes in small, medium, large, extra large, etc. And the large size was a little bit too roomy for me, and I ended up needing to have a sit pad on the back on the back panel to fill up some of that space, so to get rid of some of that wiggle, and which is fine. It rode really plush and comfortable with the sit pad on there, but with the shock cord caused the pack to be kind of fiddly. Of course, when I'm wearing the pack, my eyes are in front of me and the pack is behind me, so it's out of sight, out of mind. But when I'm in my shelter, etc., or when I'm in the car trying to pack up the gear, the shock cord's kind of got in the way. And I also have the shock cord on the front of the pack covering up the UL stretch mesh. So you can see how my UL stretch mesh is in good condition. It's not ripped. But part of the reason for that is because I had the shock cord covering it up, and that holds the gear in place, and that prevents the gear from stretching out that UL stretch mesh and putting holes in it. So about the Curve 46, I got it in a medium instead of in a large, and by doing that, I was able to get rid of that shock cord on the back of the pack. Now this back panel has an EVA foam in it, so it doesn't need a sit pad on it. And without that shock cord, I've reduced the amount of fiddliness and I've reduced the amount of cordage that's on the pack. And as far as getting rid of the shock cord that's on the front of the pack, I got the middleweight stretch mesh instead of the UL stretch mesh. So, you know, this middleweight stretch, it's very light, but it's not stretchy. It's more durable. You know, and as far as putting holes in your UL materials, yeah, of course it is possible to put holes in your UL materials, but you know, when you think of a pocket, you think that it's okay to put anything into that pocket, when in actuality, it isn't really okay to put anything you want into a pocket. For instance, if I put beer into this bottom pocket, the beers will pop, you know, because I put the pack down to adjust it and whatnot, and the pebble on the ground will poke holes in the beer. If I carry beer, obviously it needs to go into the main pocket. Now that could be inconvenient, right? But if I don't want my beers to pop, I need to put them inside the bag. And that's true with a lot of things. Tent poles, of course, can put holes in your gear, and so can trekking poles. The tips on the trekking poles are really sharp and strong and hard, and they can put holes in all your gear. So even though it looks like you could put your trekking poles in here, it might be a bad idea because they could rip straight through the middleweight mesh that's on there. All right. Now, as far as like, why did I choose to get a LiteAF pack? Well, it's because of the specs. I really like this 2.8 ounce DCF that they sell. Now, after April 1st, 2022, they're not going to sell this DCF material anymore. This DCF is 2.8 ounces per square yard, but they're moving on to a different material called Ultra 200, which is 3.5 ounce per square yard. Now that's only 0.5 ounces per square yard heavier than this. So it's still pretty good, and people say that they like it more. And basically what it is it's this material right here. This is grid stop Dyneema. It's 5.5 ounces per square yard. So it's a grid stop Dyneema that's half as thick or half as heavy as this, with some glue on the inside. And that's what Ultra 200 is. Now there are some other materials that are coming out that supposedly are made out of plastic water bottles. They're recycled materials. Now DCF also can be made out of recycled materials as well. If you go to the ZPAC's website and you look at the materials that their shelters are made out of, they explain that renewable materials are used for some of the chemicals that go into that plastic. I mean, plastic is not like wool. It's more like a birthday cake. A birthday cake has butter, flour, and sugar in it. You know, plastic has acid, you know, plastic beads in it, etc. It has a bunch of different materials that go into the plastic, and recycled materials can be used to make those different materials for the plastic. So for instance, with DCF, you know, you've got say a farmer has a field full of corn and he cuts it all down, and he's going to take his stems and his leaves to the dump, and he's going to throw it away in the dump. Instead, he can have his garbage taken to the plastic factory where acid is removed from that garbage. So instead of throwing his garbage in the garbage can, he throws it into the recycle bin, and then the recycling truck takes that garbage, takes you know, all of his leaves and stems and whatnot to the plastic factory, and they use it to make DCF. Now, there's a new material coming out called Eco 200, which is 5.5 ounces per square yard, which is supposedly made out of plastic water bottles. But, you know, getting the plastic for plastic water bottles is one way to recycle plastic, but there are actually a lot of different ways to use recycled materials to make different types of plastic. So, you know, even though, yeah, Eco 200 uses plastic water bottles, DCF also uses some renewable resources for its plastic as well. So, you know, this one is 2.8 ounce per square yard. The Ultra 200, which comes in every color in the rainbow at LiteAF, is 3.5 ounce per square yard. Now, there's also X-Pack, which is 5.5 ounce per square yard, but really Eco 200 is coming out to replace X-Pack, because Eco 200 is 5.5 ounce per square yard, just like X-Pack, but Eco 200 is made out of plastic water bottles, okay, and X-Pack is not. Now, as far as like rumors and urban legends that this material, the DCF, rips and falls apart and wets out and whatnot, I would say that that isn't true. I've gotten plenty of use out of this pack, and I have not had any experiences with it getting holes or wetting out or anything. In actuality, all the rumors that I heard about a material wetting out is with X-Pack. Also, X-Pack cannot be seam sealed, so the pack is never really completely waterproof, not even when it's new. And Eco 200 is really coming out to replace X-Pack. I do think that this Curve 46 will be my pack that I'll be using, even if I go surfing in Bali or visit Thailand, or if I would go to Scotland or Iceland or anywhere, I would bring this pack with me. And the reason is because these psychedelic Mandala Daybloom packs, etc., they're a conversation starter. You know, when I'm traveling, if I'm out on the trail away from the town, you know, there's other hikers out there alone, and they might want to know if it's okay to say hi to me. And these packs kind of scream out that, yeah, it is okay to say hi to me. You know, people look at the pack and figure I'm easy to talk to, and they say hi, and so it serves a purpose. It helps other people around me know that it's okay to talk to me and say hi to me. If I turn out to be a lousy conversationalist because I'm totally sick and exhausted, then, you know, that's my fault. But, you know, with this pack, I'm able to communicate to the people around me that, hey, you know, I'm a fun guy. Come, you know, it's okay to say hi to me. Come on over, say hi. You know, if you're asking for directions, you know, I know what I'm doing. I got the best gear. I'm totally into hiking. You know, hey, what's up? How's it going? You know, so you know, that's really what the Hikadelic packs do. Is they kind of say hi to everybody around you. They let people know that you're enthusiastic about hiking and etc. So really, that's it. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to be a fun guy with my psychedelic pack going on here. Yeah.